What's going on, guys? Crypto Renegade here again with another video for you. And in today's video, I wanted to give you what my predictions are for Bitcoin in 2021. So stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you for all the returning visitors to this channel. And if you are new, welcome. I am the Crypto Renegade. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing what my predictions are for Bitcoin in 2021. Now, 2020 has been a very interesting year to say the least, but more importantly, it's been a big year for crypto. There's been a lot of development in the DeFi space. There's been a lot of development on Ethereum 2.0 with beacon changes launching a few days ago. And then also Bitcoin has made a meteoric rise and it's gotten extremely close to its previous all-time high in 2017. Right now, we're looking at about $19,300 as the price of a single Bitcoin, as well as a market cap of approximately $358 billion. Now, that is actually really close to the market cap that it was in 2017. So what makes this bull run different than 2017? Well, firstly, Bitcoin right now has a lot of institutional investors coming on board that you didn't have in 2017. If you look at the chart, back in 2017, it went from 10,000 to 20,000 in just 3 short weeks, maybe even a little less. And what ultimately happened there is there's a lot of retail investors or people that aren't part of institutional funds that are actually trying to get into Bitcoin due to FOMO. Now, it obviously crashed all the way down to 3,200 at its low in 2018, and ever since then it went ahead and slowly climbed its way all the way back up to its near all-time high recently. So right now, what is really important and what's different about Bitcoin in 2021 is you have a lot of heavy hitters that are coming on board. You had Square that bought a bunch of Bitcoin, you had MicroStrategy that bought billions of dollars in Bitcoin, and then most recently you had PayPal that's opening up to 350 million buyers on its platform to Bitcoin. And a lot of these investors are bullish, mainly because there's a lot of printing of money going on at the Treasury and the Fed, but more importantly, they're seeing that their assets and their liquidity is being devalued. The more that the government prints money, the more valuable, scarce assets like Bitcoin are becoming more and more popular and more scarce. Now, they're also eating up a lot of the liquidity. So all the new Bitcoin that's been mined over the last year, over 80% of the newly mined Bitcoin has been eaten up and bought by these large institutional investors. So you have two things. You have two factors that are causing this meteoric rise that's going to be happening, and I think it's going to be even larger in 2021. One, you have these massive companies that are going in and they're buying large amounts of Bitcoin. If you check this chart right here, it's going to show you the amount of Bitcoin that is being purchased by all these large corporations. Additionally, what's happening is we're going to have multiple people that are going to see this as something that's responsible for their investment. MicroStrategy, for instance, once they announced that they were buying all that Bitcoin, their stock price went up because it's going to be seen as responsible to own a Bitcoin allocation in your portfolio for these large institutional investors. But really what's important to me is why I got into Bitcoin in the first place. Most Bitcoiners on YouTube really are in it there to just make money. They don't really care about the technology. They don't really care about why it was invented in the first place and what it can do for humankind. I personally got into it because I was stunned by the technology and I'd never seen anything on the face of the earth that was anywhere near what this is. In my opinion, this is the greatest invention of all time since the internet. Now, personally, I like Bitcoin because it allows freedom. It allows you to take control back as a person and as a human being. You don't have to rely on the government. You don't have to rely on the banks. You don't have to rely on everyone else. And more importantly, I don't need permission. It's decentralized, so it can't be corrupted. It can't be stopped. It can't be tampered with. It can't be broken. The Bitcoin network as itself is the largest computer and strongest computer network in human history, and it will continue to grow that way. Now, a lot of people are having FUD about, well, what if it gets broken? What if the encryption is broken? What if the algorithm gets hacked or the SHA-256 gives out? I personally don't see that as likely to happening because it is even though it's a new asset, it is very resilient. And if you go check the Bitcoin obituaries on 99bitcoins.com, it'll show you over 300 times that the media has called Bitcoin dead. So I would take that with a grain of salt, and I see it as the most resilient financial asset in history. Now, if you compare it to the market cap of gold right now, gold is roughly around $10 trillion. And a lot of of people, including myself, are in the belief that this is more useful than physical gold due to its scarcity, due to its proven supply, due to that it's programmable and it's transportable instantly. You can essentially become your own bank and you don't have to ask permission to use it. You don't have to pay a custodian to hold it. You can hold it in your own hardware wallet. Go ahead and check out some links and videos I have linked down below. But ultimately, I want to go ahead and make my prediction of what Bitcoin's going to do in 2021, which is why you're here. Ultimately, what Bitcoin I think is going to do in 2021 is, I'm not so interested in price, but price is a good indicator of what the momentum is of people buying it, what people see in its value, and how its growth. You know, when a lot of people see that the price starting to go up and up and up, they get scared and they get FOMO'd in. But price is an indicator really for adoption, and it's an indicator really for the growth of the network and the growth of the asset itself and how useful it can be. A lot of people, myself included, like to see this as something that can be used in day-to-day transactions, completely eliminating the need for banks. But unfortunately, Bitcoin hasn't been as good as a peer-to-peer electronic cash, which it was originally intended for by Satoshi. It's more at this point due to a store of wealth or a store of value, much like gold is, or properties, or other hard assets. So what this really is it's a hedge against inflation, it's a hedge against the governments, and it's a hedge against printing more money by the Fed and other regulations of where they have a monopolistic control. This gives power back to the people, and that's really why I got into it, is because it's useful and because it can't be stopped. So what's my prediction for 2021 with Bitcoin? Well, I think in a conservative way, I really think that the absolute lowest that we'll see it is $50,000 per Bitcoin, and I think it can go much higher over the next 2 to 5 years. I think it's going to take a couple of years for most institutions and even potentially other countries, other governments, other treasuries that are going to start coming into this and start having at least a 1% allocation of their funds as a reserve currency, using Bitcoin as that reserve. So I really think that not only are we going to see more developments with more institutional buyers coming in, we're going to see developments with more merchant adoptions coming in. There's also things like the Lightning Network, and there's other developments that people can start using this in a day-to-day fashion where the fees aren't extremely high. In addition to that, you have Ethereum, which is Bitcoin's obviously second market cap competitor, and there's a lot of interesting development going on there between multiple institutions having decentralized applications, having enterprise applications built that they can use on the decentralized web, and it's going to be very, very exciting to see where that goes over the next 5 to 10 years. But I think overall, between Ethereum and Bitcoin, the market cap we're going to easily see hit over $1 trillion before the end of 2021 in my conservative estimate. Now, I've been in Bitcoin for almost 5 years now, and I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, doubts and beliefs, and ultimately I've stuck into my guns, and I'm glad that I did, because every time someone said that Bitcoin was dead, that to me was an indicator of doubling down and having more belief in this process. And that's why I've created this channel, and that's why I've created my website, bitcoinlockup.com, to help share the news and help share ways that people can protect their Bitcoin, that they can become their own bank safely and responsibly, and more importantly, so that they can take control of their own financial future. So it's obvious at this point that I've been a big proponent of Bitcoin for some time, as well as several altcoins that are making a lot of strides technologically, and I think that we're going to start to see a shift of everything that is currently in a physical or a legacy way shift over to a new digital platform, not only for hard assets, but for stocks, tokenization of everything, and many, many more things. But I just wanted to give you what my price prediction is. Again, I think in a conservative way, it's going to hit $50,000, and it very well could hit $100,000 before 2021. I'm sure you've seen other investors and other claims or headlines that are saying that this could easily go to $250,000 or $500,000 or even $1 million in the next year, but I would much rather personally see it steadily grow over the next 2 to 5 years than have another parabolic run up like we had in 2017 and see it crash down. I'd like to see it slowly grind up because it's more sustainable, and I think that it's going to have a lot more longevity if we do it that way. Now, there's always going to be ups and downs that go through market cycles, but overall, I'd like to see it not exceed that $50,000, call me crazy, before the end of 2021. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know what you think. Go ahead and comment down below. I will answer it if you go ahead and comment. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I talk about different ways that you can secure your Bitcoin, protect your Bitcoin on a private hardware wallet, and many, many more use cases for your Bitcoin as well. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. Crypto Renegade out.